Okay, so welcome to this evening's chat session. This is Ripon College parent-to-parent chat, and I have with me several parents that are currently students are on campus of all different kind of ages too. So sophomores, juniors, freshmen, etc. And then we have some guests with us from all over, South Dakota, Indiana, Illinois, etc. We really want this to be informal and answer your questions. So some of you maybe have students who are still thinking about coming to Ripon. Some of you are already having students who have made the decision. So really want to kind of just answer questions for you. I'm going to start off by having my Ripon members of current parents to introduce themselves, and then we'll just kind of take questions. So Jean, I'll start with you if you want to tell a little bit about yourself quickly.
Jill says quickly because I could talk a lot. Jill knows me well. So my name is Jean Rigdon. I am the Director of Teacher Education here at Ripon College. So I not only am a parent, but I do work on campus. I am also one of the co-chairs of the Ripon Parent Network. So if you're in, if you've been on our Facebook page, you will see me sometimes as Jean Wolf Rigdon, commenting and different things that way. My daughter Emily is a junior. She is exercise science, athletic training, and human performance as a double major. And she wants to be an athletic trainer, so she's looking at graduate school. My oldest daughter is a 2019 graduate, and she was a history and German major and a communication minor. Emily's also on the soccer team, works in the training room, is a tutor on campus, and is in a sorority. So lots of things that she does to be a part of campus life. So
thank you. Miko, would you like to go next?
Absolutely. So my name is Miko Gill, and my son, D'Amico Walker, is a sophomore this year at Ripon College, and he is on the track and field team. And as we were discussing earlier, he has made a name for himself. He broke and set the indoor long jump record and went to nationals for indoor for long jump. So he's actually loving Ripon, and he's far enough away from home and close enough to home. So for him, it's like the ideal setting.
Great. How about Tim and Nikki?
Hello, Tim and Nikki Geocaris. Our son is Timothy, and he is a freshman at Ripon. He's on the soccer team, and
School for biology.
School for biology, and he is in a fraternity as well.
Yep.
Just got initiated last week, I think.
Initiated last week.
And we also have a younger son in high school who is a sophomore. So
great.
Play soccer and hockey.
And then Matthew, would you like to introduce yourselves? Welcome tonight. Appreciate you coming here.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Matt Pittinger. I'm from Broomfield, Colorado. My daughter is a junior. Her name is Sydney Pittinger. She is on the basketball team and is also a thrower on the track and field team. She is a double major in biology and chemistry and will be taking her MCAT this month. So hopefully she does good and off to medical school. So great. She's had a great experience so far.
Wonderful.
yeah, she's not a junior, she's a senior, isn't she?
No, she's a junior.
Oh, she is a junior. Okay, gosh, I'm aging her. Sorry.
Yeah. Slow down. She's
I know. I thought she was a little older than my daughter Emily. So sorry.
No.
I'm doubting your knowledge of your own child.
Right.
That's not very good of me. Sorry.
Well, you know, the thing that's nice about the parents who are on that are our guests tonight really are kind of from all over too, which is great. So Matt, you're from way out west, Colorado, right? And then we
Yes.
have Nikki and Tim from up in Green Bay, and Miko from Milwaukee, and Jean's locally from Ripon. So kind of a nice mix of parents and in locations. And again, someone who's very far away and someone who's right down the road. So again, as you're joining, if you wish to have your video on, you certainly may. I have no problem with that. We love to see faces and things. You're all jumping around, so I'm like trying to figure out where everybody is. We really want to take your questions. So I would love to see if anybody you can put in the chat. You can unmute yourself and share a question. If not, I'll kind of keep throwing things out for our parents to answer, but I'd love to know what's on your mind. And before
Well, I'll
I
go.
go ahead.
I have a few questions.
Yeah,
What cellular service works up there?
good question. Verizon.
What if I don't
We
have
have
any other?
we have US Cellular, works great.
We have Cellcom.
Because we're all T-Mobile down here in Illinois, but don't know if that's going to
We-
work up there. Figure we'll
We have
wait for a little-
I
AT&T.
think it's the same servers.
Nope.
T-Mobile is a part of Sprint now. Is that correct? Or Sprint is now a part of T-Mobile?
Yeah. Yes.
We used to have Sprint, and that was just fine, but we switched over to Spectrum. It had nothing to do with service, though, and our son had no problems with connectivity on campus.
So that
Great.
was one. I have more. If I can
Well,
just
that's
keep going or
perfect.
take my turn.
You'll go ahead.
Is there a soccer parents Facebook group? I've seen mention of some of them on the parents group and of other sports. I just wonder if there's one for soccer. Because I have an incoming soccer.
Not yet, but we can create one.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah. I know
Is it a
someone said there
male
was
or a
soccer parent in
female
here.
player?
Male.
Male.
Male, yeah.
In fact, he's playing right now online. I'm watching that. This
Oh.
evening.
Nice.
Oh, how
How
fun.
exciting.
That is-
I can't be there, so I'll do this.
Yeah.
I don't know of one at this point.
There may not be a need, but I just wonder if there was and get in on it. So
I know the football team, they have one, and I know the swim team has one. But yeah, it's just something that no one has suggested.
Yeah.
So
maybe it takes care of itself and my kid will communicate for a change with me and I won't need that.
Good luck.
on the women's side, the coach does communicate quite well with the parents. Gives us a schedule kind of at the beginning of
Mhm.
the year when we moved our kids in, especially as first year students. He had a meeting for us, so I don't know if something similar happens on the men's side. This year was awkward though with
Right.
COVID, so
Yeah.
Yeah, without having a fall season, I don't know what we normally do. I know the coaches communicated pretty well with the kids and
And
kept
those
us
two.
posted as
Yeah.
far as what we needed to know, but if we ever get a full season, we can probably set up a parent network.
Yeah. I'm
Wrong with
hoping
that.
we can come up and see what they've got, 4 games scheduled. So I hope we can come up and watch one. But
Yeah,
at this point, maybe not. I don't know what the rules are your way.
from the way it sounds, there's going to be limited observers, but being that our field, if it's the field that we play on is, we won't be playing on our normal field because there's no way that'll be ready, but we'll be playing on Ingalls Field, and that has a brand new turf, and it's a football stadium. So there's plenty of bleacher area that I think you could have enough social distancing, and you wouldn't even have to get into the complex to be able to watch the game. There's a parking lot across the street that you could watch from if they didn't let you in. So,
Try
There you
to stop
go.
on. Yeah, that's why I had to bring my kid up about to join the team and break the intent of the rules.
yeah.
Maybe folks who have students who have not decided yet, are there questions you might want to ask that would help you in having your child make the decision to come to Ripon?
Hello,
Mhm. Go ahead.
my name is Mark. I'm from California. My son is Joshua, and just kind of wondering, well, a couple things. How severe are the winters?
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. They're not that bad, right? Who wants to answer that?
I will answer from the standpoint of, I don't know if your son is an athlete or not, but I've seen a lot of football players that have come from southern states and from California, and they still walk around in sweatshirts and shorts in fall and winter. And I'm thinking they're crazy, but they do. So, I think it just is the temperament of the kids, and they're young and they just are fearless. I don't know. I freeze looking at them, but
You'll definitely want to have some, a good coat and a scarf and mittens and things like that, but
Might have to beef up his wardrobe a bit.
right. I mean, I think, campus is not huge. You're not going to be out for a long period of time. You're walking from class to the commons or to, your dorms and things. So you're out there for maybe 10 minutes, at most in the really cold. We're winter break, I think most of our really bad weather happens then. So you kind of miss some of the really below zero temperatures. Yeah, every year is different, mild sometimes, heavy snow the next year.
Okay,
I'll tell you for D'Amico, we're in Milwaukee, and so, we're technically used to the snow. Well, he refused to take his big coat up to campus. So we ended up buying, North Face had like a really nice sale. So we bought one of those thin slit like North Face coats. And that's what he's up there wearing with a sweatshirt. Like he won't even take his big stuff up to campus. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's a pride thing. I have no clue, but he is totally up there with the smaller coat. He's like, no, I don't need it for, walking around campus. I'm like, okay.
all right, I appreciate that.
Other questions? Maybe as Timothy, as a first year, any comments you'd like to make, Nikki and Tim, about what his experience has been?
You want to start?
He's had a very, very good experience. Timmy came from private school growing up, so he's always been in a smaller situation, and he always thought for sure that he wanted to go to a bigger school. But when we toured Ripon, and it was actually in COVID, so we were just kind of by ourselves, he was just kind of in awe over the campus because it is, big school, but in a small, does that mean environment?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And it just felt right, I guess, for him. And
Yeah, it was, I went to Madison, so I'm used to a big school. So when I looked at Ripon's campus, it was like just a shrunk down version of Madison is kind of how I looked at it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it had that feel, but a smaller school. And I mean, the connections he's made with his friends, the staff, being engaged in some of the recruiting stuff with the coach, helping you guys out as well. So he's had a great time, even with the COVID stuff going on, he's been able to do
right.
a lot. Hopefully we'll get soccer going again and
I know.
we can do that. But all in all, we've been very happy.
We've been very lucky, especially during this time. He would have never had the experience that he's having if he did go to Madison. You know what I mean? It's just been perfect. Anything?
Jill, I see Addie has her hand up, and then there was a question, I think, in the
Oh.
chat.
I have a question. I don't see the hand on my end, but so let's see, Mark Hoffman is asking about, let's see, his sons, it's the top three choices and probably majoring in mathematics. Another school is looking at his Milwaukee School of Engineering, very different schools. So Ripon being a liberal arts school, which teaches you nothing, but teaches you everything. MSOE's idea of general ed classes are 2 English classes and dive into your major. What ultimately swayed your family to choose Ripon? So maybe someone would talk about our general education, and talking about maybe what made your family choose. Perhaps, Matt, since you're from way far away, maybe you'd like to talk about that one a little bit.
Sure. I can go into the reasons that my daughter chose Ripon.
Right.
Obviously, from an academic standpoint, Ripon had everything to offer. And she got the extra advantage of being able to continue her athletic career playing basketball. But it really came down to the flexibility and the academic side that Ripon had to provide. With the Catalyst program, it gave her, I believe, a way to, investigate some other ways and other studies that she would like. I mean, we were really interested in the Catalyst program. That was really an incentive for her as far as how that is laid out, and that you didn't get bogged down into taking a bunch of general education classes. It's kind of rolled into the 2 during the freshman year, 2 during the sophomore year, and then 1 from junior and senior year. And she really enjoyed that. And, for her, she had a great relationship with Coach Buzalaki, Coach Lauren. And when we visited Ripon, everything just felt great. But, it was for her, it wasn't the basketball first and whatever the school had. It really had to be a marriage for her, and everything fell into place for my daughter. And it's just been an amazing experience for her from the school and the town itself. I mean, it's Ripon is a great little town. We love to come up and visit. Pre-COVID, we would come up and get to see several games. We would travel up there. Now, obviously, COVID and the shortened season, we feel like we haven't been up there as much. Obviously, we have not, but we love to go and visit Roadhouse and Mr. and Mrs. P's and Christina's and the Ripon family restaurant. I mean, it's just fun. So, and it's a great little town, and the Mexican food place. Al Aroma. I know it changed the name. So
yeah, Aromas, right? Yeah.
Aromas. Yeah. So, but Sydney, from an academic standpoint, she's obviously a double major, and that takes on a lot, but she's enjoyed her professors and the students and the staff, everything about it. There's not one bad thing.
Great. So let's see, student body size, we're about 800 students total. I was reading more from Mark. His son Noah is a serious introvert, and I think would benefit from what felt like a close-knit campus. Anybody else have a student that was maybe introverted or still is?
So my daughter Emily is very quiet and anxious in social situations, but you would never know that if she gave you a tour of campus or if she did a presentation. And part of that is the high school that she went to, they had to do a lot of presentations as part of their academic programming, but it's also the confidence that she's gained since she came to Ripon. And I will say both my daughters, Ripon was not their first choice. A, because mom worked there. And B, they wanted to get outside of Ripon. They grew up in the Ripon area. They wanted something different. But in the end, they both found it felt like home. And Ripon cared. So the other school that my daughter was really interested in, my youngest, she could have played soccer there. She could have done a lot of the things there, but she's like, Mom, nobody's calling me. No one's contacting me. No one's writing to me. No one, no one seems to care if I come there or not. I don't want to just be a number somewhere. I want them, she really, as we sometimes say, she felt loved. She felt like she was wanted, and that was important to her. And she still feels that way. The other thing I'll say is, even though my children are from Ripon, I rarely see them unless they need money or food or it's a break. So my favorite story to tell is last year the last year that both girls were there, it was Easter time. And I said, so will you guys be coming home for Easter? And they said, well, yeah, we'll go to grandma's with you on Easter Sunday or whatever. And I'm like, will you be coming home that weekend? And they both went, is that something people do? Do they leave campus for Easter? And I'm like, the only time my children leave campus is when they have to. Fall break, or not fall, winter break and summer. Otherwise, or if I cooked a meal, I could persuade them to come home for an hour or two. But other than that, no, they never came home. So I guess that's a good sign that they enjoyed being on campus. So
what do we say? We say it's not a suitcase college. Students are not leaving every weekend. So if you are someone who wants to see your student every weekend, it's probably not going to happen. But there's plenty of things to do on the weekends. We try to plan things that will keep kids, occupied and entertained, and planning that the resident assistants plan things. So that's definitely something that's a good part of it. A question, let's see, any must-need items to pack that you missed or wish you would have suggested to send, and best hotel to stay if you're visiting Ripon. Anyone want to answer anything that you can think of that your student may have missed when they were packing, when they were moving on?
One thing I would say is typically for summer orientation, we are able to get together, and we do a lot of sessions then with parents as well. And it's a nice time to kind of talk about that. We also send out a list of things to help you when you're packing. I know some of the area hotels have discounts, but I don't stay in a hotel, so I'll let someone else speak to that.
They just had that in the Parents Network. Somebody had asked that question, and somebody recommended the Mapes Hotel.
Yeah, that's like the new historic one downtown.
Okay.
And I would recommend, it's really nice. It's an old historical building. They renovated it into hotels. It's kind of like you check in, you just do online to request your room, and you stay in. It's almost like an apartment setting. And they do offer a discount for Ripon College folks. And then is it Cobblestone?
Yeah.
Is there one that's great?
So,
and then I guess there's some Airbnbs on Main Street that people stay at too.
Sure.
So,
Matt, did you have something to share?
yeah, when we always come, we stay at the Cobblestone.
Okay.
I forget what it was called before it became the Cobblestone.
Right. Comfort
It's,
Suites, maybe? Was it?
Yeah, Comfort. I think it was the Comfort Suites. So,
and I believe they offer a discount too, right?
They did.
Okay.
But I think when they changed the Cobblestone, I don't think that they offer the Ripon discount.
Okay.
If they did, it's not as robust as it was before.
Okay.
They had a change in management and obviously ownership as well. But we've always, it's a nice place to stay. We wanted to try the new one, the historic, the Mapes, but it didn't look open when we were there 2 weeks ago, and I just don't know if that was maybe it was just our misunderstanding of it, but it looks to be fun, so.
Right downtown, you go across the street to get your coffee or go to Christina's Cafe.
Yes.
And then of course, if you're not familiar, Oshkosh is about 20 miles from Ripon, and they would have more options for some of those, big name kind of hotels too, if you wanted to go to Oshkosh, but there are definitely some places in town. Questions, I'm just reading this. Being a private school, is there an affiliation with a church or faith? And we are not affiliated. There are, I always say there's many churches and things around town and several different kinds of denominations, so students are able to find a home if they choose. Next question, for parents that are just a distance away, how did you handle health insurance? And are athletic injuries dealt with that need medical attention? How are they dealt with? Anyone wish to tackle that question?
I can talk about athletes. So there are 3 athletic trainers now that work, as well as a strength and conditioning coach that is affiliated through our local hospital. But they will refer to doctors as necessary. And our health office has a nurse and a nurse practitioner that does come to campus. And if you see the nurse practitioner, that's free of charge. It's part of your tuition. And she's very good at helping students find local or within the area networks if they have to see someone outside of what we have available here. But Matt, you might know better, being that you're from out of state, if you've had any issues with injuries or anything along those lines.
Thank God we have not had to experience that part of that. So knock on wood that continues. I think it would work just like you would at home, from an insurance standpoint. If you have your child insured, I think now you can keep your child under your insurance for up to 25 or 26. I'm not too sure what age but definitely through the college age, you can have your child under your insurance and be covered that way. And I guess I'm happy to say that I have no experience with that, but if my daughter needed to go, I would think there's places that she can go. First, with the obviously being an athlete, she can go to the trainers, and if there was something, she could go to the hospital there. And I'm not great with the name. I don't remember what it is. So, but also the school, like you said, they have a nurse practitioner there. I'm sure she would be able to go there as well.
So I'm going to follow it up. If they're injured playing soccer, in my case, I lost my thought. I got notes, but I didn't write that down. But they would be covered because it's an emergency, I would expect. There's not an issue with them being residents up there and, things like that, because he lives there now, or will. And is there coverage issues that come into play because he's living there, not here? Our insurance extends about 10 miles across the state line, and that's about it for us. ER things are fine, but is there any issues because he's living there that the coverage could be a problem? Because, if you have a concussion or a broken anything, it can get, out of hand real fast. And I'm taking it, no one's saying so I'm guessing the school doesn't cover anything in that category.
So I do know concussions. My child has had a number of them. And they do work with our local hospital. And they go through the concussion protocol with a nurse practitioner that does just concussions. Like I said, the athletic trainers would do an assessment on an injury and then help them decide where to go and involve you in the process.
Yeah, I'm more about the
doubt
coverage
about
side of things than the
Yeah.
treatment here.
So I do know that as an athlete, there's a lot of paperwork they have to fill out prior to coming on campus, and insurance information is part of it. So they do need to have outside insurance for the medical aspect. So
yeah, and
not
we'll
sure
keep
if
them
that
on ours.
answers it.
Yeah, no, I'll keep them on ours. I expect that, but I'm just wondering if there's something I don't know yet that, like, oh, you're not covered because he doesn't live with you.
Mhm.
stuff like that.
I don't think that should be a problem.
And Mike, I would actually check with your insurance company because they'll probably be treated either as out of network,
Right.
depending on what kind of plan you have. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it could get denied for being out of network. So you'd probably
Yeah,
want
it's
to
all
follow
out
up
of
with
network
them.
up there is my point. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
he'll drive back here for his, every 3 month visits with certain doctors and stuff like that. That's fine.
Yeah.
And, or Zoom even now, they've learned how to do that if she can treat.
Right.
There you go.
She's not licensed in Wisconsin, so I think as long as he doesn't say he's in Wisconsin, it'll be okay. So those issues are coming up now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark has a question about might want to fly back to Wisconsin to visit. Is one day enough, and is a Friday or Monday better? Anyone want to answer that?
If you want to go to any of our eateries, don't come on a Monday because
Friday,
a lot
yeah.
of them are closed on Monday.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we roll up the carpet on Monday. I don't know. Everybody seems to take Sunday, Monday off. So from that aspect, a
Mhm.
Friday would be better.
Mhm.
As far as happenings on campus, I think it's a hit or miss either way. I think most classes are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you would see, kind of what a peak day looks like, although I don't think we're allowing students in classes right now
Mhm.
to observe, but.
Great.
And I guess I didn't understand, is it from a parent standpoint to come up and visit, or is
Yeah.
it from a prospective student?
Oh, well, I
coming?
guess I'm not sure. Mark, do you want to clarify?
He's a prospective. Sorry about that. He's a prospective.
Yeah.
So
then
you're
I
looking to
wouldn't-
visit before making a decision?
Correct.
Okay.
I would
Probably
say
from-
that sorry about that. I would say that when we came to visit, it was 2 days. Not 2 days on campus, but we do a day for travel,
Sure.
came up and stayed the night, and then had a day to see the campus, and then flew back home. So I don't think, depending on where you're coming from, I mean, if you fly into Madison or fly into Milwaukee, I mean, we always fly into Milwaukee because it's an easy Denver to Southwest, but you're looking at like an hour and 40-minute drive from Milwaukee, plus your flight. So, for us, we usually try to fly in the night before, but we don't stay one day. So, but on a perspective, I think you would, if you scheduled 2 days, you should be able to see that, but.
Right.
I was looking for on-campus time one day because
Okay.
we'd be back at 2 or 3. So
Yeah. I think so. I mean, again, we're limited to what we can do on campus, so we definitely, tours and things. And did you say that Josh is a athlete?
not anymore.
Okay. So, we can have you take the tour of upper and lower. And again, this is something you could do on campus or you can do it from home too, but we're offering like a Zoom appointment with faculty or financial aid or student support services. Those you can do while you're on campus, or again, you can do it from home. I would say the time off campus might be nice to visit the downtown and kind of see the area to kind of get familiar with what's there. Again, I think the benefit is that there's so many things that are within walking distance of campus, and you can't always appreciate that until you're actually there and can see the drugstore, the Munk's coffee shop, the Roadhouse Pizza, the theater. They're all really close to campus. So that's a benefit to see that.
Yeah, I'd like them to actually get to experience the area a little bit.
Right. Yep. And so again, like Jean said, make sure, Monday is not good because of the places in town, just they are kind of shut down. So any other day.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. Other questions?
I see
Yeah.
Livia. Oh, go.
Hi, I'm Livia. My son Desmond is interested in coming to Ripon. My question is, how is securities there on y'all campus, the living campus? How is security? Is security tight, or there are other people that could come on the campus without being a student there? You know, how does that work out? Hello?
A parent?
Well, the campus is really secure, Olivia, and I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so I live in the larger city, and my son was considering the city colleges as well. I will tell you, we don't have any fear, and the area is watches out as well for the students. Even when we go into the restaurants downtown, they are very complimentary and talking to us, and even knows, some of them know who our son is, but no security issues surrounding the college. Even the traffic's not even bad, honestly. Goodness, it's like we love driving into Ripon. It feels really great to get
Just
them out
be
of the city.
careful in Rosendale,
Yeah,
right, Nico?
right.
Oh,
Be
my
careful in
gosh.
Rosendale.
Yeah, when you're coming to town from Rosendale, from Fond du Lac, yeah.
Yes, it slows
Fair
down to what,
warning.
20 or 25?
25,
from
yeah, you
45.
have to.
Yeah.
So if you fly in to Milwaukee and you
Well,
drive over
we
on,
from Florida, so
oh,
I mean, we're not even familiar with none of those areas there, because we're from Florida. So that's why I was,
sure.
I extended about the security call. Used to be like, I think we almost like 18 to 20 hours away from Ripon.
Uh-huh.
So one thing I would tell you, Livia, is in order to get into the residence halls, you need to use your ID card. And
Okay.
any student can get into any residence hall until a certain time. I don't know if it's 9 or
11?
10 o'clock. And then after that, you can only get into the residence hall that you live in. So you can go and, visit your friends and do that kind of stuff. But after a certain time, you wouldn't be able to get in. And there's campus security that students can call if they feel, if they're afraid to walk from lower campus to upper campus, they can call and get a ride. I don't know. My daughter doesn't tend to do that. A lot of times she'll call me and talk to me while she's walking up, just so that if something were to happen, I'd know. But it's very safe.
I have a
Okay.
14-year-old, we live in town, and I always say too, I'm happy to let her go downtown to Mugs on her own or walk around. There's not that worry at all in Ripon, Wisconsin, so.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have a daughter. My daughter's there, and I will tell you, Ripon feels like just the city itself is like, I don't know if people lock their doors or not, or if it's just a piece of mid-America, Americana, where it's just the small town. Everybody's looking out for each other, seems to me, and the campus is that way as well. I mean, I feel that my daughter's very safe there.
Yep. Everybody knows everybody on campus. And if you are someone new or whatnot, I mean, someone's going to notice and kind of ask. I experienced that when I first started at Ripon, and someone had approached me thinking I was lost on campus, and it wasn't that, but they didn't know me, and they were just either being helpful, which is one, thing about Ripon, but also looking out for security. So.
Okay, that's really assuring. I mean, that's really assuring. Desmond will, he looking forward to coming, and we looking forward to come visit. We can try to get there before the summer, so we can look around before he leave. I know y'all classes start in August, September.
Yep.
So we try and his dad is trying to make plans to come and visit Ripon, and so we can look around and see.
Sure.
But so far what we've been hearing good things, and reading up on it, and checking it out. We've been reading and hearing good things about Ripon, so I'm kind of like a little interested in it too. More than the closer he get, the more interested he's getting.
Right.
But he never been away from home. not this far.
Mm.
And we never had him to leave home this far. So, it's kind of like it's going to be like a little homesick for both of us. But,
One thing I would share, Olivia, and anyone else, and I'm not sure if anyone on the panel, but we have what we call a home away from home program on campus. And it's meant for our international students, but also students who live farther away. And what it does basically is, again, this is Ripon. We have many families and folks in the community that want to be helpful and they're connected to the campus. So Des or other students could be connected with a family in town, and perhaps it's just he needs a ride to Walmart, or he has a question about this, or wants a home cooked meal. Those are kind of what those home away from home program can do, and so they're
wow.
paired up with somebody.
Mhm.
I've had a student that I hosted for a little while that we included her to go to the movies with my daughter and I, or have dinner, just to kind of have that person that locally that can perhaps help. So that is something that he can look into to connect with a possible family in town.
Yes, because he'll be playing football with Ripon. So the families that you're talking about, is those families like that y'all staff are some of the students' parents?
It's all it's someone who maybe is connected to the campus, or just someone who
Mhm.
wants to help. Jean, you want to say anything about
Yeah,
that?
so I was gonna say, what I found is, especially if they're on a team, is the
Mhm.
team kind of takes the team's parents that are local or more local,
Mhm.
kind of take that on, and support
Mhm.
them. The other thing that, if it is a fall sport, what typically they
Mhm.
do is they will be roommates with
Mhm.
other team members or other fall sports players, so that they're not alone those first
Mhm.
few weeks, which could be a really homesick kind of time. And the other
Right.
thing that happens then is, I find the students that I know and interact with that are from further away, their roommates want to bring them home with them,
Right.
or they find a friend that,
Mhm.
and my daughter was friends with someone, and he even called his roommate's mom, Mama Bear. It was kind of like that was they went to her house, and
Right.
so I've hosted students for Thanksgiving when they couldn't make it home. We call it the orphans, any orphans around. And I do know, like, the other thing is some of the sports teams, we have meals for them. So I've had the
Mhm.
women's basketball team every year to
Mhm.
my house for meals over a winter break and different things like that. So
Mhm.
um, we do try to take care of our students, especially that are at a distance.
Right.
Oh wow,
Try to
that's
make them
great.
feel like they're at home.
That's great.
Yes,
That's made me feel real good. That is awesome.
yes,
Good.
that's great. That's great.
This is Dad.
My name is Cornelius Ruiz. I'm Desmond's dad.
Oh, hey.
I come to visit on this situation. That's great to hear, because Des is, give you a small picture of where Des is from. He's from a smaller county, probably populated 300, maybe 400 people outside the city
Mhm.
of Baker County. So we're kind of close knit, like surrounding family. So he's got that type of character which very in this area here, we're very church going people.
Mhm.
So he have that character. If any of y'all ever get to meet him, he's very well respected, type young man. So
Mhm.
he's very quiet, but like I said, we're country, and we're 14 hours away, and Des will be attending Ripon, and all that I heard, it sound very assuring.
Mhm.
Desmond is very excited, and we are too, for him to make this choice to go to Ripon, because he researched it and he felt like it is a fit for him. To be honest with you, he had a lot of other choices, but Ripon caught his eye. So we're very happy for him deciding, what he wanted. So Ripon is it. So You know, like I say, give me your character of him. He's from a small town, so hearing that welcoming committee, if you will, on things like homesick or making him feel comfortable being so far away sounds very good.
Yeah.
Good, good.
He definitely be homesick. 'Cause like I said, Desmond never go nowhere. He's a homebody. And this could be a very, very good experience for him. I'm proud of him. I'm really proud of him that he chose Ripon. He chose so far to leave. And it's going to be a very challenging for him. And, what I hear with the parents, the staff, the parents, the love that y'all going to show, y'all make him feel, he might not even want to come back.
Maybe not.
I never want them here, the love and the care that y'all can show. And y'all make me feel real good because I be so far from him. And
Cool.
but I know he's gonna be taken care of and he's gonna be washed over. I know what I'm saying. So that's made me feel real good. And I really appreciate whatever parents that connect to this. I thank you, whoever parents to be. I thank them very much for connecting here. Like I said, he real respectable young man. He's he quiet, but he gonna respect you. I mean, I never had a problem with him, disrespecting no one. So y'all gonna fall in love with Dez. Dez is real. He's a real sweet guy. So, and that's made me feel good that I know that he's gonna be taken care of. He's gonna be washed over, and taken care of. That's made me feel real good.
So I want to there's a question Mark had about the Catalyst program. And also I want to kind of watch time. We probably have just a few minutes to keep you guys all here, but I know what the Catalyst program is, but I don't want to keep talking. Any of our parents would like to maybe speak about the Catalyst from your perspective?
If no one else,
Matt wants
Matt
to.
kind of spoke
Yeah.
to it a little
So
bit earlier.
I guess I'll wrap it up and
Cool.
just try to keep it in general terms. So Catalyst kind of takes what you would look at from a bigger, university or other colleges of, you got to take your general education. You have to take literature and English or that could be the same thing or a big scope of what they would say, here's what somebody has to take, which is usually, I don't know, anywhere between 24 credits and 30 credits at other universities and colleges. And they rounded it out into 5 different categories that make students well-rounded. And it gives you really different, and I can't remember, I'm trying to think as I'm talking here about, what the different classes you can take, but it like poetry may be based upon lyrics from Beyonce or Taylor Swift or something like that. And it makes it very interesting, but it gives you kind of an analytical way of thinking from a math, science, and English perspective. I don't know if I'm speaking out wrong on that, Jill, or not, but that's kind of the way that I took it, is that so instead of taking that many credits with that many classes, like you're just taking classes to fill time, that this is broken down into I think I said before, it's 2 during your freshman year, 2 during your sophomore year, and then 1 that you take either your junior or your senior year. And it kind of combines all of that into those 5 classes. You are
correct. 5 classes, 20 credits. Students all do them. You can't skip them or miss them or forget about them. The last part of it, the junior year, is the seminar portion where you work with a group of students to solve a real world problem, and you work on that for the semester as a group. So each class, and Jean, you can butt in here too, but each class is going to give you different skills, writing skills, integration, cultural competence. Each one has some different pieces, and then each course, so a Catalyst 110, there's going to be more than one option where students can kind of choose what class they want to take. And again, they're based on some interest level and things. But the nice thing when you come into the first year, the first semester, you will have typically 4 classes. One's going to be that Catalyst, and then you have 3 other spots to fill with classes, and they can be whatever you want. So if a student knows what they want to major in, they can jump into that major courses right away. If they don't know, that's okay too. They can jump into anything, and they're all going to count toward the graduation, but it's a way for you to explore, that student to explore their interests and kind of try out different things.
Yeah. And
Jean, feel free to.
what we're finding, so what we're finding is students can get a double major easier because there's less gen eds that are required. The
Mhm.
other thing is our students that are looking at becoming teachers are getting done, including their student teaching, in 4 years, which a lot of times in the past would take 4.5 years, or at larger institutions
Mhm.
because of getting classes. Jill, I saw 2 more questions in the chat that I'll just mention since we're,
Yeah. Go
I
for
know
it.
that the answer to the calendar question
Yeah.
is, I do know that our scheduled first day of classes will be August 30th, which is a week later than we typically start.
Mhm.
There will be a short fall break. So typically we would take a week off.
Mhm.
We're only going to do like
2 days. Yeah.
2 days,
And then,
either
yep.
around it'll be a Friday, Monday, or Thursday, Friday. I'm not sure how they're
Then
going to do that.
Thanksgiving, they have a longer, like Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah, then
Friday
the
of
Wednesday before
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving will be a day off as well.
Mhm.
But I would assume that'll be together
Mhm.
soon.
Soon.
We just found that out as a faculty staff recently because of COVID. We weren't sure when we were going to do things. And then if your child or student comes in with college credits,
Mhm.
a lot of times what'll happen is the registrar reviews the transcript. So if they take college credits from a community college, or if you're in the UW system, they would get a transcript. They would have their transcript sent, and then the registrar looks at it. If it doesn't qualify for any of our gen eds, it would qualify as elective credits 9 times out of 10. So, if they took psychology, it would count towards the Psych 110 class, or and that would count towards elective credits. And you need 124 to graduate, so any credits you have are helpful. I've had students that'll come in with 20 or 30 credits, and they'll take a semester time off their time on campus if they choose to. So
It's typically if it correlates with something on campus, a C- or above in that college credit course. And then AP, also we would have the AP test, and you would need to have at least a 3 on the AP test for that to come in as credits too. So that's something the registrar will look at with you, and that can definitely help count toward those credits. Any other final second questions that we can address? And I think we've got all the questions. I feel like we've got them all. So I would love to thank my panelists, Jean and Matt and Miko and Tim and Nikki, for helping us this evening. It's good to hear from all of you and your experiences. Thank you to parents who joined. I'm really, really happy that you decided to come on tonight to listen and share your thoughts. If you have any questions that weren't addressed, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to your admission counselor. If you want to talk more with Tim and Nikki, or talk more to Matt, I'm more than happy to connect you. My email is simply cardinalj@ripon.edu. And you may have seen that from these kinds of events. My name would be on our events through these Zoom sessions and things. So best to you all, and have a wonderful night. And I am looking forward to seeing all your students on campus next fall. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.